I'm just here so I won't get fined on comic book canon. Yeah, that's a callback to Marshawn Lynch in Oakland, boy. Sunday night, not Friday. You're here. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had are having a wonderful Hanukkah if you celebrated. I hope you're all looking forward to the holiday season. We are officially in the holiday season. And with that, I'd like to bring in somebody who is celebrating the holidays as we speak right now with a bag of chips. No bullshit. My partner in crime, Christopher. How is it going? Nice. That bag of chips is treating you well. You deserve it. Honestly, you deserve it. I guarantee you've eaten every little piece of Thanksgiving dinner, and now you're just on to whatever's left in the house. And it looks like it's what is it? What do we got? What kind of chips?
I'm invisible. I'm practicing my my Drax.
Oh, well played. Well played.
But man.
I've had those. Those are really good.
Yeah, I don't do like heavy processed food, so hippies.
Really good.
High fiber, low carb. Yeah.
Those are they're like Cheetos,
Yeah.
but healthier.
Yep.
But we're not here to talk about snacks. We're here to talk about comic books. It is a Sunday night. We really appreciate all joining us. Not our usual evening, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it our show tonight. What's happening?
Hey, I just want to acknowledge we are over the 900 subscriber mark on Comic Book Canon.
Good stuff on that Sunday Night Live there on Journo's channel. That was awesome. I was definitely surprised I could not make it. It's been a very busy family day for me. And again, we were just yammering on. Let's just, honestly, Chris, let's just get into this show because that's what people are here for us to talk comic books. And what better way to start it off than how we all felt about Hawkeye? Chris,
Me? I go
yeah,
first?
you go first. Well, how'd you feel?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I still get so excited anytime the what's the proper name for that, Jeff? You know, where the theme music comes up and the Marvel Studios things comes up.
Oh yeah, it's basically just the studio open.
The studio opening. I just, every time that comes on, still to this day, no matter how many TV shows or movies we watch, I get so excited.
Yeah.
So just that alone just made my week. And then to watch 2 episodes of this new show, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had a different pace at first, which was good though, because it really, I felt, developed the new characters and did a good job bringing in the characters that we already know and then meshing it together. And by like midway through the second episode, and we're like full on into, okay, what's going on here? Like, you're on board, you feel it, you're invested. And I'll just say, this is kind of what I didn't get with Eternals. And now I know this isn't an Eternals review, but it just, to me, it shows why what Marvel Studio is doing with the Disney Plus shows, I think is awesome, and why Eternals could have possibly benefited from a Disney Plus show, because it allows us to really take each episode and flesh things out and get us invested in the characters and in what's going on. So I see that happen over these 2 episodes. I'm absolutely loving it, and I can't wait for Wednesday.
Yeah, I have so much more to say on that, on top of that too. But first, I fucked up. We got to say hi to people. Raw Dog Comics, what's happening? Nerds being geeks. I am drinking, it's exciting, water with some vitamins in it. Fantastic stuff. It's a school night. 360 Comics broke 900 this week. Congratulations to that. Super Crispy Comics, what's happening? Goonish Lurker, what is up with you? Remy, Wolman Munch, yup. TS, evening to you. We got issues. Yo! Who else? Miguel Poole. Nikita Kare. Who else do we have? Caleb Leland. So many. Shadow Rat. Episode 2 was better. He liked Hawkeye. Episode 2 was better. Jordan Nori. I'm yelling. All right. Yeah. No, Chris, I really enjoyed Hawkeye as well. Episode 1 was definitely more of a setup, but it was kind of like it was definitely the introduction to Kate. We all know her from the comics, but it's nice to see her intonation, her delivery, her timing, delivered by Haley Steinfeld. I really did enjoy that, especially the beginning dynamic between Kate and Clint. That was really nice to see. I really liked how they tied a bunch of things into that. I don't want to give too much away, but actually I was just about to. But they tied a lot into the previous, like Endgame and things like that. The destruction of the Avengers compound. I'm excited to see more. The tracksuit, tracksuit mafia, fantastic, straight from the books. Yeah. You guys got to read that Matt Fraction and David Aja series, outstanding. I'm excited for this. It's definitely it's a series that is part of this world, and you know it, but it's also just smaller and grounded. And it's time for this. It's time for something that's not an Avengers level threat. Does that make sense, Chris?
Absolutely. And it really, to me, it goes back to kind of, I think, what the Netflix shows tried to do. You know, that part of the world, that part of the universe. You know, even though right now, whether that's canon or not is basically however you feel as a fan, if you want it to be or not, right? But I definitely agree with you 100%, and I think it's going to lead into that. I mean, we saw some of that too with Falcon and Winter Soldier, although that's still more, you know, that espionage, worldly threats, you know, where this is that New York city to city, you know, that where we can then bring in more of that Daredevil, Punisher, Kingpin, even Spider-Man, you know, to where Spider-Man's next trilogy is going to take his story arc and bring more villains in. And we've already had executives talking about a more street level, edgy, you know, dark, you know, college days of Spider-Man. So yes, I think Hawkeye could be this kind of the groundwork of bringing in these types of characters and story arcs. And look, they're doing it in a way too, where not everything has to, even at this level, the street level, everything doesn't need to have the same tone still, you know? And that brings me to the tone that we felt so far in these two episodes, which I kind of related to before. I said it on the show when we were talking about it. I said, I think there's going to be some Die Hard / you know, Lethal Weapon type vibes where you get that gritty action with this kind of like dry humor. And I loved the dry humor that we saw. It wasn't like over the top humor out of place that took away from something serious that just happened. It was just like, it really worked to me overall.
Exactly. And you know, the whole Christmas theme to it, it's jovial. I think we're in for a fun ride. Only 4 more weeks left, which that leads us into Book of Boba Fett, which is great. But I'm excited. And everybody, you guys in the chat, a majority of you are saying how much you enjoyed it as well. Even Cali Comics, Hawkeye is shaping up to be my favorite Disney Plus show, which is like, that's saying a lot because we've had some incredible ones this year. Only this year is with the MCU at television. Crazy. Starting with WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and now we got Hawkeye. Guys, it is a great time to be a fan. And I think we'll end it there. We'll do our best. We'll talk about Hawkeye in the coming weeks, but we'll do our best not to spoil it. What I do know is, I don't know. What's been going around as rumor, something big happens in an end credit scene in the 4th episode. Just keep that in mind. Don't look that up if you don't want to be spoiled, but there's some interesting things that people are talking about. Okay, moving on though. Some more great news because we got a great look at our Miss Marvel shooting on the Marvels with a brand new suit. Look at this. This looks very, very regal in my opinion. This is broke by Emperor Boss. Not familiar with this person, but this person does have a nice, great looking pic of, I cannot remember the actress's name that's playing Kamala, but again, super excited. I'm excited for this Kamala series as well. Just wanted to share that with y'all. Just so y'all know that the Marvels is moving ahead. I think that comes out late next year, Chris. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am not quite sure.
They pushed it back one spot. I forget off the top of my head, but is it the November slot now?
I think it's late next year, definitely. And the fact that they've been in production, I think for a few weeks now, would lead us to believe that they can wrap it up and have it delivered by then. But Moving on to more. That's our MCU news, guys. It's been a very light news week, but it's been fun because we got Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Kathleen Kennedy revealed to us that they had an emotional reunion on the set of Obi-Wan. Kathleen Kennedy, from an Empire interview, said the thing that was most exciting was being on set and watching the two of them get excited. They hadn't seen one another in a long time. I was surprised at just how incredibly emotional it was for each of them to find themselves back in these roles and just realizing how important Star Wars was to each of them. It was the beginning of their careers. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe Hayden, but definitely not Ewan McGregor. He did a lot of stuff before Star Wars, but that's exciting to hear because it means a lot to them. We are going to get some really cool stuff with this series, and a lot of people are shitting on this, but we're going to get a rematch of Darth versus Obi-Wan, Chris.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago. It in no way does anything to change any of the lore that's already out there. I think it's going to be great. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see? I don't care. Just like that little, the scene in Rogue One where Darth Vader comes in and just, a 5-minute little, boom, and then like, how can you hate just something like that even? So I don't, anything. Right now, Star Wars, I am extremely optimistic about. Like we say, like with DC, we tend to be optimistic, but we're often let down. Mm-hmm. But right now, with anything going on Disney Plus with Star Wars, I'm not a critic on. I am not a critic. I'm sitting, letting them do their thing. The shows come, I watch them, and then I'm like, okay, I've enjoyed everything I've seen so far. So,
yeah, definitely. They've been on fire, actually. The two Mandalorian series, even Bad Batch was great. We got Book of Boba Fett coming out next month. Guys, it's just exciting stuff. They're crushing it. A lot of people shit on Kathleen Kennedy, but as long as Favreau and Filoni are part of these projects, I think we're gonna be seeing some excellent things, expanding that universe. So that's fun. But speaking of expanding that universe, Chris, this is even more from Kathleen Kennedy, because we're talking the future of the Star Wars sequel, the characters from the sequel of Star Wars. What do we got?
Speaking of Kathleen Kennedy, we all know. Now, here's what I don't think some people don't know. Maybe Kathleen Kennedy's been around for decades. She's had her hands in some amazing franchises like Indiana Jones and Back to the Future. So, a lot of people may just look at kind of what's gone on with Star Wars and in her and the relationship with her and Lucasfilm. And one thing that doesn't sit easy with a lot of people is the sequel trilogy. And now Kathleen Kennedy is teasing that certain characters from the sequel trilogy will return for future Star Wars projects. From a recent Empire interview, she said, quote, "Certainly those are not characters we are going to forget. They will live on. And those are conversations that are going on with the creative team as well." So here's how this sits. Like I said, Kennedy's handling of the sequel trilogy, which began really with Rian Johnson's divisive The Last Jedi, not only left fans divided and frustrated with where the franchise was going, but also created a public perception that Kennedy was not handling the IP correctly. It is known that Kennedy did not have a plan or vision for the stories of the 3 sequel films and went into them giving the directors complete freedom to do whatever they desired. Problematic, right? This became even more problematic when Kennedy ultimately bounced between 3 different directors in the middle of the production of all 3 films. All right, now, so we got to look at this because, since The Mandalorian's released in 2019, fans and insiders alike have all been, talking about the possibility of Kathleen Kennedy stepping down. You got Favreau and his team, Dave Filoni and these individuals stepping in and saying, this is how it's done, right? There's been a lot of talk, like I said, even with insiders, that Favreau might take the wheel of president for Lucasfilm. Now, it seems, though, that Kathleen Kennedy, at least for the next few years, might not be going anywhere. Personally, I agree. I agree with the fans stating that Kennedy hasn't handled Star Wars to the best of her ability. But I'm not a Kathleen Kennedy hater thinking that she can't do right. I enjoyed Rogue One, and you and I both, Jeff, have talked about how Solo was a really solid film, but gets a bad rep because it came right after The Last Jedi, and everyone was all upset about that. But I do stand firm in agreeing with the fact that the way Kathleen Kennedy handled the sequel trilogy was extremely negligent, because she had, Colin Trevorrow, and then ditched him for JJ, and then said JJ, you got all 3 films, but then said, no, we're going to bring Rian Johnson in, and basically told Ryan to do whatever you want. We don't have a plan. And then after that, they brought back in Trevorrow again and decided, nope, now we're not going to go with you. Let's bring JJ back. So you don't go into a trilogy, let alone a trilogy that continues 6 other films of 40 plus years of work, doing something like that. But to your point, Jeff, I think if Kathleen Kennedy understands where she went wrong in the handling of that, and you get more individuals involved in the creative process and the decision-making process, like Favreau, then, we can continue these characters in a positive light. But it's going to be tough, because I think a lot of people already have a bad taste in their mouth of, what they've seen of these characters so far. And I think it's going to be really tough to make the audience buy into seeing like Poe again on screen, or Finn again on screen. I think, very capable actors. And we know that there are individuals that can take these characters and properties and make something good with them. But it's going to be very, very hard for Kathleen Kennedy to do something like this and earn the trust of fans.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Kathleen Kennedy, she's divisive, herself. So, honestly, she hasn't handled things very well. I do believe she had a quote out there. There's not much story to pull from for Star Wars. And it's like, you had all the Dark Horse storyline. You had all the books. You had all of that stuff. It's like, come on. But here's the thing. I think that they've turned a corner, because you and I say this a lot with DC. Allow the creators to create. Trust the creators to create. Trust them to do what they do. Like Cali Comics, how much of it is trusting the wrong people to do the right job? I'm assuming the wrong person would be, Kathleen Kennedy. Fine. But they've done something right by giving the keys to the car to Favreau, to, Filoni, all of those people. And we got The Mandalorian. We're getting the Book of Boba Fett. With these new characters, it's hard for us, especially people our age who grew up with Star Wars, how magical and endearing these characters were. I was ecstatic to see this story continue. I don't find those characters endearing, like a Rey or Poe or Finn, but I want to see their stories continue and expanding that universe as well. While also they're building the High Republic, which is way before the prequels, so they're going to be able to pull from those earlier stories as well. I think it's just going to continue to grow, and I'm excited for that. And yeah, Mojo Quid, absolutely. To say that there's not much to pull from Star Wars is insane, and I guarantee she's regretted that, and she's been proven wrong. And it's just amazing what they're doing now. Everything is contained in one universe with the books, the cartoons, and the films and the TV shows. Great time to be a fan. But I want to see these characters grow and increase their history within the Star Wars universe. So that's where I'll leave it. I don't know if you have final thoughts on that.
I mean, I think ultimately when you look at the big 3, Poe, Rey, and Finn, I think JJ set him up nicely. To go off and do great things with great story arcs with some great actors. I just think all that divisiveness and the lack of a plan, under Kathleen Kennedy, just really ruined that for a lot of people. I think the one that got hurt by it the most, the character that got hurt by it the most, was Finn's character. And then, you try to introduce all these other characters in the middle of this, and it just didn't work. So a character like Rose, who doesn't need to be a hated character, but the way that she was introduced it just didn't fit. So, you do have opportunities to now almost not rectify the problem, or start fresh. I don't know if either of those are proper terminology to use, but you can redeem the story arc. And because I know a lot of people are like, those films never happened, let's start it over. Well, let's just like they're doing with the comic books right now. They're tying in comic books, trying to really build depth and make something that's cohesive and believable. So hey, Maybe they can do that with more projects with these actors. My big question, though, is for Rey, is Daisy Ridley ever going to want to come back to play Rey ever again? Because I know she's made some comments about like leaving it in the past now. So we'll see.
We shall see, indeed. Got a lot of great comments here, but none. Well, I agree, Chris. This is a good call. I think Rogue One is the best Star Wars film since the original trilogy. I loved Rogue One.
Yeah,
I love Rogue One, so that's a good call. We have some more things to talk about with 360 a little bit later, by the way. And guys, before we get to our final little story, which is a very little story, I love doing this, guys, and I love you all figuring it out. But Louis Logics, Jeff is watching Endgame. Correct! Endgame, there they are in the Avengers compound. Her and Steve talking about, I don't know, should we save the world? I don't even know. Is it worth it? I don't know. Let's eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or something like that. I don't know. Good call, Louis Logics. It is. You are correct. All right, moving on. One last piece. I just got to share this, man. I just loved it. But speaking of Empire, we're talking about this interview with Kathleen Kennedy. What a sweet Boba Fett cover. Chris, I mean, seriously. How badass is that?
Yep, it's Boba Fett.
Does that not get you hyped for this series even more?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Love it. Anyways, just wanted to share that. Before we move on to our next section. We don't have a guest today, so it's kind of freewheeling a little bit. But y'all know what we do on these shows each and every week. I think we'll just get right into it, right, Chris? Because that's what's up. That's what's next. What is it, Chris?
Well, so here's the thing, guys. I know, a lot of us are probably hungover from the turkey and all that stuff, but and I know maybe a lot of us aren't big on Black Friday. For me, I'm all about spending time with family and not buying into all that garbage. Usually the deals are crap, and it's just
I agree. And having to swim through all the deals too, like, come on, I think you don't have enough time in the day.
It's ridiculous. You end up saving like $5 on a TV. So, but the one thing that I do support on Black Friday is my local comic shop. So I really hope all of you are super fresh from the comic shop this week.
That is right, fresh from the comic shop. We ask you, our wonderful audience, to get us your fresh gets each and every week. Just post them on Instagram. Tag us at Comic Book Canada, but most importantly, tag Fresh from the Comic Shop. And we'll talk about them all through this segment right here with the possibility of winning a prize. A prize just for showing us your fresh gets. That's right. But before we get into how you can win, we got to tell you, actually, before we will tell you how you can win by giving you the criteria we look for each and every week. It's presentation, right? How are you composing the shop? Make it look beautiful. Get some nice lighting in there. Throw some little tie-ins here and there to that specific book. Get us a unique book. We always find those books interesting. It's not a requirement, but that helps. But also, give us a good story. That this is the book that you had when your first book. You walked in a comic shop, picked it off the wall, and said, I'm going to start collecting comics or something like that. Give us something that ties in to something that is endearing to you. That always goes a long way. But you know what? We had our November winner. It was a tough fight. It was Azores Tiger versus 360 Comics, and guess who came out the victor? 360 Comics. It was tight. It was back and forth. Like I think Azores was smashing 360 for a while there, and then 360 came crawling back. But 360, you are the winner. We don't have a prize for you yet. This segment is usually sponsored. We promise you we will be getting you a prize. Just enjoy your Hulk 181 for right now. But we may have another announcement for our December winner where we will be sponsored. So hang tight on that. I think we'll have some news.
We got something cooking, guys.
We'll have some news next week. I'm not even privy to what it is. Chris is going to surprise me probably after our show. But moving on, let's just get into your fresh gets and jump right in. That is right with. Guys always know what the stamp of approval is. It's the Red Hulk. That's how you know Son of Comics is giving you his stamp of approval. Swordmaster #1, first print. It's not the second print, but I still like the first print. Guys, these are interesting characters. These APAC characters, the Asian Pacific region. Swordmaster is one of them. Swordmaster is rumored to be a part of I do believe potentially being the new Iron Fist or being a big part of this story. So a lot of people are looking towards this character. There's a lot of tie-ins to Shang-Chi. Again, also Agents of Atlas. Big part. This character, this is his first issue of his first series, but he was first introduced on the cover of Agents of Atlas #1. His first appearance, though, is Agents of Atlas #2. Just letting you know. I'm a big fan of those books, by the way, so that's a good pick up there. Son of Comics. Next up, we got Nope, we don't. My bad. These are out of order, guys. I'm going to do my best. Marvel Man 616, guys. Getting over about a COVID, so send your thoughts, prayers, and hellos. Why don't you guys hit him up on the Instagram right there? It is Marvel_Man 616_comics. This is what he has to say about this classic issue. A classic, just past my 10th day with COVID, feeling a lot better, but still have somewhat of a lingering cough. But all other symptoms are gone. Thanks to everyone who was thinking about us during this crazy past week and a half. My wife still has a couple things going on, but she will be fine. Sorry I haven't been up on all my messages, just trying to take care of stuff at home. So I'm just posting right now for the most part. Listen, man, we are ecstatic that you're posting. We are ecstatic that you're getting better and your wife is getting better. It sounds like you still have a little bit of a, short trip here to get back to full health. But we are, again, thinking about you. And everybody, hit Marvel Man 616 Comics up. Tell them what is up. Next up, we have E. Marvell. I was hoping for a 9.2 to 9.4 grade, but this bad boy came back at 9.6, like a boss from the ladies and gents at CGC Comics. Thanks so much for the grandkid. Thanks so much. The grandkids and my daughter will love it. You don't look old enough to be a grandfather in your avatar, but I'll believe you. That's a compliment, by the way. Moving on, we got Chris. Are we keeping tabs on this? We have to pick a semifinalist here, Chris.
New month.
Yeah, we're not used to this. All right, moving on. We got Goonish Lurker. Here we go. We only find them when they're dead. Number 9. Not in a long time has a comic stuck with me as much as this issue. I have to know what comes next. Don't sleep on this title. I've heard a lot of good things about this title as well. And man, it's so awesome when you get that one book, because I feel like there's so much stuff out there. When you get that one book and it sticks with you, it's just like one of those things you just feel it's so rewarding. Because I gotta be honest, I read a lot of books and I'm just like, nah, I could have done without it. But when you get that, I'd say it's like 1 out of 10 for me. When you get a book like that, Goonish Lurker, I know how you feel. All right, Thanos wins. Here's West Coast Avengers #1 with this great cover by Al Milgrom and Joe Sinnott. The start of a great run, and also has the debut of Iron Man's Silver Centurion armor. I don't know. Is that the case? Really? The silver? I thought that was issue. Well, I don't know what's going on here. No, that's not issue 1 of Fantastic. I don't know. I picked the wrong image. Anyways, West Coast Avengers #1 opened the door for me to comic book collecting. So I'm right there with you. That means a lot to me. That's the story. But that right there is the first time Moon Knight joins, or that's when Moon Knight joins the Avengers, which was the West Coast Avengers. So I apologize if I mixed that up there. But that's a nice looking picture. Chris, what is your first fresh get of the week?
All right, I got to go with this one first. This is probably my favorite book since I've been getting these, and that's the Comic Tom's Mystery Mail Calls, and it's the Ralph Gracetti Venom #1 exclusive Comic Tom variant, and that thing is just a freaking beauty, dude.
That is that. God, look at that. It's like you could that looks freaking. Look at the texture on that thing.
Yeah, and I was saying when I did an unboxing for this, because you could get the Virgin variant as well, and those tend to go for a higher resale value on the secondary market. But I'm glad I didn't get the Virgin. I don't really like the Virgin variants as much, but this trade dress is so dope. I like the color, how it sits on the back, and how the tongue just comes over. The Venom is it's so freaking dope to me.
That is a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Great pickup. By the way, Y'all know 360 Comics is alumnus. He's a guest co-host of Comic Book Canon. He wants that Letterman jacket. He's the only one that has followed up on that. Yeah, we promised it to you if we ever make it. Moving on, though. Moving on. Here we go. We got into Oblivion with Uncanny Avengers Volume 2, number 3. First full appearance of Luminous, the product of the High Evolutionaries experimentation with genes from the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Chris, I would love to see the High Evolutionary in the MCU. I would love it. I didn't know much about this issue. I didn't collect during this run at all, but that sounds really intriguing to me. A character based off of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. So that's really cool. I may have to check that out on Marvel Unlimited, Chris. Moving on, we got Neighbor to the North. Here we go. Cable was my top 3 for comic book characters. Finally added New Mutants 87 to my collection. I saw it on the wall at the local comic shop. Immediately ran back to my house to grab a stack of books to trade. Happy Mutant Monday. Everyone, this book still has legs, even though it lacks feet. Wow. It is 100% certified fresh from the comic shop. I think y'all know that's a dig on Rob Liefeld not being able to draw feet. All right, guys.
Hilarious.
I am going to give you my first fresh get of the week. I just don't know which one I want to show first. Let's just do this. It's Star Wars Life Day number 1. Guys, this is based off of a holiday special back in the 70s that was on TV after the first film. And it's something that George Lucas wanted to erase from continuity, but fans are all over it. Fans are all about it. And this ties into that. So now it's Disney, who owns Marvel, is acknowledging that it's a thing. And I'm not sure how George Lucas feels about it, but I'm okay with it. Haven't read it yet, but I think there's a couple first appearances of Chewbacca relatives in here, and it's got a how great is this cover, Chris?
Star Wars covers are always freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Anyways, I haven't read it yet. I'm excited to read it though, and I'm excited to show you my next 2 fresh gets as well. But before we get into that, we're gonna get into your fresh get, Nukes Comics. Picked up this copy of Fantastic Four Annual 3 Anniversary Edition from Duncanville Bookstore. This is cool, Chris. Each page is recreated by different artists. I hope to see other anniversary books like this soon. My son is a big Fantastic Four, so this goes to his PC. Chris, that is... I didn't know about this. Did you?
No.
That's really cool. Neat. Each page is recreated by a different artist. So that's a cool book right there. No doubt. You know what else is cool, especially with the Netflix show coming out, is House of L Comics finally got Sandman number 1. This is a great story. I've never gotten into Sandman, but I know how hot this book is. It's got a cult. Sandman has a cult fan base, and it's only going to grow once that Netflix show comes out. I do believe it is Netflix, or maybe it's on HBO Max. It would make sense if it was on HBO Max.
Yeah, I think
it is. I think it's on. Anyways, whatever. We'll figure it out. Comic Toby, what's happening, hot stuff? Notice how the painting looks like it's molded on with plaster. Breathtaking artwork by Peach Momoko. My first Peach Momoko. It's Marvel's Strange Academy number 1, a Stormbreakers variant. This is what comic book collecting is all about. That's a cool cover. Again, Chris and I have talked about it. We're not huge Peach Momoko fans, but some of these covers stick out to us. That's definitely one of them.
I don't know, man. I'm really becoming a Peach Momoko fan.
That's fair. You're allowed. Yeah. You're definitely allowed. I'm not knocking you, but you and I haven't really kind of been like jumping in head over heels.
Well, for me, it's either or. It's either like okay, or it's like really good. So if you see me doing my monthlies now, sometimes because I do the preview orders, 3 months in advance, and some of the covers aren't there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sometimes if I don't like the A cover, I'll go for the Peach Momoko, not even knowing, just hoping that it's a good one. So there's been a couple that I've gotten that I'm like, but there's been those, like the one that didn't you show one off?
Yeah.
recently.
Star Wars one, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was beautiful. And I was like, I don't know if I ordered that one.
You did.
I got my stuff last week, and I'm like, yes, I did. I got it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. That's a beautiful cover too. Again, a lot of them stick out, but I'm not actively going out seeking Peach Momoko work. But I respect it. Anyways, moving on. You know who else I respect? Sicilian Comics. Miss Marvel number 18, first full appearance of Mystique. Oh, yeah. That is a great, great book to have. Great book to have. All right, Chris, what do you got next on the list?
Before I show you my book, I got to eat another hippie here.
You deserve it.
Movie knowledge. If you ever watch a Brad Pitt film, notice something. He always is eating on something out of a bag. Pay attention to that next time. Brad Pitt, watch.
Well played. Not always, but yeah, especially during the Oceans movies.
Yeah, and there's also times where the director, there is a story on the Oceans set, one of the Oceans movies. I believe it was George Clooney. It was one of the other actors. After the director told Brad Pitt that he couldn't bring food on, another one of the actors brought him a bag of chips, and you see him eating it in the movie. True story. Okay, folks. I have a video that's going to be uploaded in a couple days for my Black Friday shopping. Like I always say, the only Black Friday shopping I do is supporting my local LCSs. If you guys have LCSs that do Black Friday deals, I highly support you do the same thing. I went to one of my local shops, Comic Command Center in Sacramento. He had a 65% sale going on. And I picked up this beautiful, this is really high grade too. A nice, now I do believe this is, it's either late Silver Age or early Bronze. I think it came out in 1969 or 1970. Superman 243. First appearance of Raja, if that's how you say your name right. And just a beautiful cover with that super white and clean. Look at that.
That's awesome. That cover is great.
I just couldn't believe how clean this was too, and for the price. So you guys will see that video where I show off. I got some solid DC stuff in that haul.
That doesn't look like a cover from the 70s. It really doesn't.
It's unique.
That's a nice looking cover, man. That's a good get, dude. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. You know what else is good stuff? I'll tell you what else is good stuff. Why am I talking tough? I don't know. Why am I answering my own question? I don't even know. I don't know why I'm answering my own questions. I'm talking tough because you got Vinny Whitlock up here. Mail Call Monday. Captain Marvel Avengers 76. He thinks it's about a 4.0 from 1947. I love CC Beck artwork. Golden Age goodness. Yeah, definitely. Look at this, man. That style of Captain Marvel back in the day. It's just really, they had this template of how to draw him. You know what I mean? Like each artist has a different rendition these days of characters, and they're allowed creative freedom. Back then, it was like, this is how you draw Captain Marvel, and they never deviated from it. And I thought I think that's really cool, actually. But that's good stuff there, Vinny Whitlock. Mark Lineker is jealous, I think. I don't know. I'm assuming. Next up, we got our grand prize winner, and former Comic Book Canon alumnus, 360 Comics. We've got the first issue and first appearance of Daredevil. Not to mention his supporting cast of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. I've wanted this book for such a long time, but last week I finally pulled the trigger and arrived in the mail. Monday morning. If you haven't done so yet, check out my video unboxing where I go in depth on this massive grail, why I think it has tons of potential, and how I decided on this exact copy to secure. I'm not sure when he posted this, so it may have been last Monday, but either way, follow 360 cameras. What am I talking about? 360 Comics. Link is down below. You cannot go wrong. He's doing great work, great content, good stuff right there. Cover Junkie Comics. I think that's Louis Logic's, right? Yep. It pays to talk about your favorite characters when you go to your local comic shop. It took a while for me to build a relationship, but I made a point to always work Dr. Doom into every conversation. I'm happy to say I am now known as the Doom guy. That's awesome. Books I didn't pull still make it to my box if Doom is on the cover. This week, it was two awesome variants, including a fresh Inyuk Lee cover that I can't take my eyes off of. The Funko is new too, and it's the only one I own because, well, Doom.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That is great that you have your LCS looking out for you. Everybody can use an LCS like that. All right, guys, my second fresh get of the week. I like this. I like this one. Found it for $2. I had the opportunity to actually dig, Chris. I was digging in the long boxes. I think Friday. It was Friday, and I found this. This is the first time She-Hulk joins the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Newsstand.
Hot.
$2.
Yep.
I want my $2. On top of that, it's John Byrne.
Yep.
John Byrne. So yeah, right there. So that's some good stuff. Introducing the newest member of the Fantastic Four. Oh my, is the world ready for this? Maybe not, but I sure am. I'm not sure if Johnny's like hitting on her. Because he says, maybe not. I sure am. Anyway.
I'm sure.
You're a creep, Johnny Storm. Anyways, that is my second fresh get of the week. Let's see more of your fresh gets. Comic Ozzy, another alumnus here at the Comic Book Canon. Let's try this again. Throwing it back to Marvel Comics 67 for Top Variant Thursday. These were a must to get. Love this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle homage. Look at all of that's a lot right there.
What do we got? Army of Darkness, NYX. What's the middle one on top there?
Barbarella.
Oh, Barbarella.
I don't know what the middle. Purgatory is on the bottom left. Red Room is bottom middle. Red Sonja.
Nice.
Bottom right. Good stuff, Q. Good stuff, man. Love it, love it, love it. Comic Demon. Fresh from the comic shop and here for comic freaks alike. It was a busy week. A lot of great reads with some sweet covers. Stayed away from all the variants, though. By the way, Comic Demon is always posting a ton of books. Like he had probably 5 or 6. Actually, you see there's 4 there with like 4 books on there. So each picture. So that's good stuff. I picked this one. I just liked what he was the combination of these. So anyways, good stuff. AZ Mailman 211. That's right. Look at that. Goodness. My submission for this week's Fresh from the Comic Shop is really fresh from the graders as I received back the first batch of books I pressed myself and couldn't be happier with 6 of the 8 coming back, 9.8. Now to move some of those and get another batch in before Christmas. I mean, excuse me, guys. 3 spawns, Chris. You got Hawkeye #1, Kate Bishop. You got Ironheart #1, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. I'm not sure what the top right is, Chris. And then you got a Boba Fett bottom right. Good stuff, man.
Is that a Sandman?
I think it is a Sandman, actually. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Mark Leneker. He's actually showing some Silver Age and Bronze Age love here.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder Woman 178 is a rather big key because it's the beginning of her modernizing. Diana Prince losing her powers and becoming an Avenger like Black Widow or Emma Peel. Wonder Woman 199 and 200 are classic moody bondage covers by Jeff Jones. These were all priced to move and thankful to have keys. Never thought I would own this year. The one on the left was a little ridiculous. I don't know. It was definitely fresh in a way to just have her move on from the Wonder Woman persona. But, she lost her powers and started dressing all hip 70s style, I don't know. I've never read any of those, but I do know about them. Here we go. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted here. We got Nori Jordan. After a 6-month wait, I got back my Captain America 323 from CGC. To stay patriotic, I found nice copies of Truth, red, white, and black in a store dollar bin today as well. I also picked up the last 2 variants I need to have all the Daredevil 25 and Black Widow 2 copies. Finally picked up copies of the new Hawkeye and Hulk series. Now I just need time to read them. Don't we all? Those are some nice, especially that Truth, red, white, and black. In a dollar bin. That's a great find right there. Chris, I got to tell you something. I read the new Hulk. I didn't like it.
With Nick Spencer?
Yeah, and Donny Cates. Yeah, it was really just a little disappointing. So I just want to throw that out there. But you know what I hope is not disappointing, Chris? Your third fresh get of the week. What do you got?
All right.
It better not be disappointing.
I hope not. This is another book that I picked up from Comic Command Center. I'll tell you guys again, if you're in the Northern California area, head out to Sacramento and check out Comic Command Center. This was a book that I obviously did not have, and it was on sale. And it's Finesse 4129, the first appearance of Thundra. And it cost me like, I think, $7. It's in really nice condition, except it looks like it has maybe a tape pull right there.
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay. Other than that, it's got a little bit of a spine roll that could be pressed out, and it still looks really good. And for $7,
$7, not bad, not bad. You know, that's good stuff.
Yep.
I'm trying to also read through the books here. Oh, I got some love here. John Byrne, fantastic for it. Heck yeah, man. Anyways, I don't know. Why does Mark Lineker say this? Jeff always seems to go a little insane during these live shows. I don't know. I guess so. Anyways, here we go. What do we got next? What do we got? We have Nerds Being Geeks. This is excellent right here. Look at that. Ooh. Look at that statue right there. He got the Venom sketch variant. Venom #1, Volume 5, written by Al Ewing and Ram V, with art by Brian Hitch. I absolutely love what Ewing did on Immortal Hulk. Now that the series is over, I wanted to follow him over to his new project, Venom. I chose the blank cover to eventually take it to a convention and have someone in Artist Alley do a killer cover. Please consider subscribing to the Nerds Being Geeks YouTube channel for all my comic book content. Guys, that link is down below. Super easy to find. Super easy.
I got to say, bring that back up real quick.
Sure thing.
What I really like about this is that it almost looks like the Venom figure is popping off the cover.
Yep. Well played. I really love I love how he set that up.
Yep.
Something to think about, right, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Well composed shot. That's what we talk about. Moving on. Raw Dog Comics. Fresh in our collection, Weird Mystery Tales #9 and Vault of Evil 20. The boy with the evil power and the druids dance at dusk. Old school DC and Marvel horror stories being cover junkies. We had to have them. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Collect what you love. Raw Dog, that is excellent. You know who else is excellent? Dan De La Torre. He is good friend of the show. Got this at my local comic shop for $1. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. number 18, 1968. I was taken by how good the cover is of actors Robert Vaughn and David McCullum, who starred in the original series in 1964, which is the year I was born. Man, I truly am the ancient one. That's his alter ego. He appears on Tony Sanders' show. So good stuff. Good stuff indeed, guys. We ran, fresh in the comic shop as we always do from Saturday to Friday. So we don't have late entries, even though it was Thanksgiving week. I know I saw, especially Tommy Boy and April, apologize if we didn't get to them, but you'll definitely have your submissions in next week. Promise. I absolutely promise. But here, Chris, you did your third fresh get, right?
Sure did. I think it's your turn.
It is my turn. All right, Chris. This one I'm happy about. I'm excited. I wanted this one for a while. I finally pulled the trigger online. This is Contest of Champions #1, the first appearance of White Fox. Yeah.
Is that a variant?
Nope. This is cover A.
Clean.
Guys, White Fox she's been they've been pushing her a little bit.
Yep.
Pay attention to that kind of stuff right there. Those characters, again, it's the APAC characters that are being pushed quite a bit. I wouldn't, you got Arrow, you got Swordmaster, you got White Fox, you have Crescent and IO, you have God, there's another one out there that I cannot remember. I'd be looking out for those because you could definitely find those in dollar bins. It's a lot of their first series. Agents of Atlas is getting a little bit pricey, but that's just my little nugget of information. Now, Chris, we got a decision to make, man.
Yep.
We got a decision to make, and
I wrote 3 down.
Huh?
I wrote 3 names down.
All right, I need you to go with your top first.
Number 1.
All right.
What's my best one? I'm going to reveal that right away.
No, don't reveal it right away. Go for it. Your third. Go. Yeah.
Well, I like Big Cover Junkie. I think he's been a semi-finalist a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I really like what he did today with Doom. He's always doing his Doom, but I just liked him adding in the Funko Pop and just, not collecting Funkos, but owning one because it's Doom. So I just wrote his name down because it's all about that love for him. But I really like Vinny. It's tough with Vinny because Vinny kills it every week. What I liked about this is it's not necessarily that this was, Vinny has big books every week, but he had a mid-grade 4.0 Captain Marvel, and it's almost humbling. It's almost humbling for Vinny, and I love that he just, I don't know, I just like that he went after this week. So, but I don't know, man, there was somebody that really kind of stole the show for me.
All right, before you say it then.
Yep.
Let's not get into it, okay? Because I think you and I kind of agree on this. I do like Neighbor to the North because this is his top 3 characters, and he finally got the first appearance. Yep. So I'm happy to hear that. Again, that's a story. That's a good story. That's something that means something to you. I also did like. I'm a little biased, but Thanos wins, and I messed it up too. I like the West Coast Avenger #1, even though this is not the pick. But there's one that definitely has stuck out to me as well.
Yep.
Should we say it at the same time, like Step Brothers?
On 3.
Wait, hold on. We'll count it at the same time. Ready? Here we go. 3,
1, 2,
3. Nerds Being Geeks.
Nerds Being Geeks. Nerds Being Geeks.
And that's okay. Yeah. I think we got to go with this. Like, especially how you pointed out how it looks like he's just jumping off of that page. Yep. I love how he composed this shot. So, Nerds Being Geeks.
The lighting really made that work too. The way he set the lighting.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. So you are a semifinalist in December's Fresh from the Comic Shop. Congratulations. I have to address a comment right here. I know Louis Logix. It's not West Coast Avengers #1. I messed up and took the wrong picture from him. And that is the first time that it's when Moon Knight joins the Avengers right there. So that's my bad. But it was endearing to me because that's West Coast Avengers is what brought me into comic books. So anyway, so congratulations, Nerds Being Geeks. Moving on. And we will be moving on from Fresh from the Comic Shop. Before we do, Chris, tell everybody how they can enter to win.
Okay, so here's the thing, folks. You guys right now are being entered to win a prize that's going to be a sponsored item from somebody. Okay, so what I want you guys to do right now, we're gonna have it legit next week, but what I want you guys to do is I hope to see you guys next week. And Jeff, between Jeff and I want to let you guys know we might be on a Friday again, but we might be on a Sunday again. Okay, so just stay tuned. Make sure you hear, because as of next week, we're going to have criteria in order for you to win. So, for example, Nerds Being Geeks being a finalist, especially those finalists, I really hope that, Nerds Being Geeks tunes in next week and then does what he needs to do. You're going to have to probably follow somebody on Instagram and maybe sign up for a newsletter, certain things like that. So stay tuned, because it's only fair to our new sponsor that you guys take the time to make that happen, because we're giving you an opportunity to still enter right now. Okay. I had to get that out of the way, but of course, as always, solid presentation. You saw that with our pick today. Great lighting, setting up a nice little theme to make your comic and your pickup pop. Something unique about the book itself, adding a story to it and making it personable or personal, and really pulling us into what you loved so much about your pickup. Of course, you got to take your picture, upload it on Instagram, and leave the hashtag FFTCS and at us at Comic Book Canon as well.
Absolutely. And right there ends Fresh from the Comic Shop. Thank you all for participating again. But if we didn't get to your picture this week after Friday, you will be on next week's submission. I apologize to those. Maybe we didn't make ourselves clear. And following up on what Chris said, yes, we may have to have our next episode on a Sunday. I may have some family things I have to attend to. But we appreciate you guys being like every time we do it on a Sunday, you guys are 30 strong, and we really appreciate that big time. So we appreciate you guys watching on Fridays too. We appreciate you guys watching every day. So again, thanks so much for that. All right, moving on, guys. Chris, we do this thing every week as well, called the top 10 hottest comics of the week. That is right. We list off the top 10 hottest comics based off of cover prices, sales data. Not just Chris and I winging it and coming up with some list that we just think sounds good. This list is the top 10 hottest comics that based off of sales data. We're not sponsored by Cover Price. We use Cover Price kind of as a stock index, a tool to kind of assess what books are hot and what are not. So these lists come out on a Monday. This show's on a Sunday. This list is kind of old. So what we like to do a little bit different is we go through the top 10 hottest comics of the week. Chris picks out 3 most interesting books off of that list. Now, granted, interesting doesn't mean great. It could be interesting for other reasons as well. Chris, am I right?
Yeah, we had some good books this week, though. We
do have some good books, and we're just going to jump right into it right now. Here we go. Top 10 hottest comics of the week. Avengers number 1 at the 10 spot. First appearance of Azari. Number 9, we have Ultimate Fallout. Number 4, Chris. Oh, gosh, why is this book popular? I don't even know. At number 8, we have Secret Wars. Number 3, First Titania, who will be in the She-Hulk series. At number 7, Deadpool, Red, Black, and Blood. Number 4, Dan Panosian, 1 in 25 variant. The first U.S. appearance, by the way, of Sakura Spider. This is causing quite a stir with a lot of manga fans. At number 6, we have Strange Academy. Number 13, that Arthur Adams variant will not go away. Good stuff. Number 5, Star Wars, Kanan the Last Padawan. Number 1, the first appearance of Sabine Wren, Kanan, Jarrus, Ezra Bridger, Chopper, Hera, Syndulla, and Garrus Aurelius. This book is awesome, by the way, as well as issue 6. Number 4, we have X-Men Adventures number 1. Number 3, Eternals number 1. Number 2, Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality. Number 3, with that kind of hybrid Doctor Strange Spider-Man look. Wonder why, Chris. Number 1, we have Dark Reign Zodiac 1, the first appearance of Zodiac. Why did I do that?
I don't know. A big Zodiac fan?
Did you like it, though? Because, I mean, I sold it.
You should have kept going.
Yeah, I should have kept going. All right, Chris, let's just get into it, man. It's an interesting, honestly, it's a disappointing list. It's kind of like a lame list to me. I don't know why. I was very, meh to it, but you like it. You like it. So tell us.
Bring it back up again. One thing, again, Marvel dominance. Again,
yeah.
This is, I think 2 out of the last 3 weeks have been all Marvel, and I think it was 9 out of 10 last week that was Marvel, maybe 8 out of 10. But there's certain things I hear you, Jeff. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. We have some rollovers from last week and the last couple of weeks. Eternals, even though the fair market value is dropped some, I mean, it's still selling units, so that's solid. But I did pick 3, and very interesting talking points. So
before you do, Chris, I have something I want to bring other people's attention to.
Yep. What do we got?
Bill Ayling, you're killing me with that Eagles hat. Really tough loss. I don't know if you're an Eagles fan or not. I am. Die hard. We've been over this. 360 Comics will tell you. That was atrocious. I was at my daughter's friend's birthday party watching with a Giants fan on my phone.
Oh, man.
As we were watching kids pet horses. Not kids petting horses, just that loss. And 360, man. Yep. I hope you kicked back a Yingling, though, and got some pleasure in the day of some sort. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, Chris. Yeah.
My third pick on the list.
Let's just do it. Yeah. What do you got?
Number 3. Ultimate Fallout 4. How can I not pick Ultimate Fallout 4? I've picked this book so many times over the last year and a half on this show, and it's back up here. Why? Well, because we all love Miles Morales for one thing, but I think there's definitely a couple things of why this book is back on this list. But let's look at the numbers. 170% upward trend in sales this week with a CGC 9.8 high of 2,800. If you guys remember, I don't. When was it exactly? Maybe last fall that this book hit a peak of $3,500 for a 9.8 It was staying above the 3,000 mark for a while. Then it dipped back down to about the 25 to 2,700 range. It's slowly kind of creeping back up. And I think this book kind of hit this list a bit due to a lot of what's going on in the MCU with Spider-Man. There's I mean, obviously everyone and their mother and brother is going to show up in No Way Home. There's talks that, Miles Morales still might show up in No Way Home. I don't think that's going to happen. And then there's this talk going on about Tom Holland stating that he made some type of quote somewhere along the lines of, if I'm still playing Spider-Man after 30, I've done something wrong. So I'm thinking people looking at this and saying, oh, well, hey, man, that means, Miles Morales can step on in. But I think there's a lot more to this here. Amy Pascal, with Sony came out and basically said the opposite of what Tom said, saying, no, Tom's he's staying, he's on board, and he's going to be, we want him playing it for as long as he can. I think a bit of this is Tom being humble and trying to, not say the wrong thing, which he is always trying very hard to do. So I wouldn't read too much into Miles Morales right now showing up anytime soon. But Jeff and I, you and I have talked about this. I do believe it's inevitable that Miles Morales shows up. I do believe that Sony's going to focus on the end of the Spider-Verse franchise with the character a little more, at least for the next couple of years. We know that Sony and Marvel Studios have a contract agreement for the next 3-film trilogy that's going to start in 2026, and they're going to have a Spider-Man film, the next 3, every other year. So, excuse me, not 2026. Man, I'm ahead of myself. 2023. So that means the first one comes out in 2023. The next one's going to come out in 2025. The next one, 2027. That's 6 years away to where we know we're going to have a Peter Parker, most likely in the MCU / Sony. So what that means for me is I still think we're at least a good few years out of seeing Miles Morales in the MCU, but I do think it's inevitable. Is it a good time to buy this book? Well, I've always said this. When this book was crossing over the 3,000 mark, when this book crossed over the 1,000 mark about a year and a half ago in like May of 2020, people were like, oh, it's a bubble, it's going to crash. That book should never be worth $1,000. And I'm like, watch what it does.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what it did. And then it dips and people are like, oh, see, I told you it's manipulation. It's COVID bubble. It's all these things. This is normal ebb and flow. It's healthy. You set new floors. I actually just released a video yesterday on my channel where I talk about this because everyone's like, are MCU spec books crashing? No, there may be a little bit of dip, but if you bought it before it got hot, which if you're smart and you're into speculating, you always should, you're still making huge profit off the book. If you bought this book before May of 2020, you're making huge profits. If you bought it probably before last fall, you're still making profits off it if you could sell it for $2,800. So the book is seeing a bit of an upward trend right now. That can, once again, cool off a little bit. But what have I been saying? We have the End of the Spider-Verse 2 coming out next year, right? 2022?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We got another video game coming out, which is going to affect the sales to a certain extent. This character is going to continue to live in the forefront of the minds and hearts of collectors, young and old. And when we come out, I think Sony's going to hit another home run with Into the Spider-Verse 2. And when we come out of that movie, boy, I'm telling you, people are going to want to go buy Miles Morales. So again, is it a right time to buy? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you that. But I'll tell you what, it's a better time to buy right now than it was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when it was breaking the $3,000 mark. So we can never predict the future. This is a solid book. It's going to stay that way. The modern Hulk 181, in my humble opinion. And no, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it'll ever be exactly worth in dollar amount what Hulk 181 is worth. But in terms of legacy and what it means intrinsically, it is that book of this generation.
I thought you were crazy for saying that a long time ago, and I think I called you out on it, but foot and mouth, definitely, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Also, I really think that this thing kind of broke through after that. They revealed that Miles is going to be in the game. the second Spider-Man game for PlayStation, right? I feel like that was probably June, I want to say. I remember that just blowing up. So yeah, man. Again, with Into the Spider-Verse, the sequel coming out, there's a lot of potential. It's unlimited, I think. Honestly, not unlimited. It's not going to be worth billions. Let's be clear here. But it's definitely just going to continue to grow. I have to call myself out for a mistake, and Comic Toby called me out. That was an image of facsimile. I did it again, Chris. Every time. Yes, my bad. I did that. No big whoop. All right, moving on though. Oh, I also want to call out somebody else here real quick. Jay Ward, you two are awesome. Santa Claus emoji. No, you're awesome, Jay Ward. You're awesome. You're all awesome. All of you. Happy holidays. All right, Chris, what is your second most interesting book off of this list?
Well, goes a little bit to what we were talking about in the news tonight, and that's all things Star Wars. Kanan #1.
I love this book.
Making the list again. This book has been doing big things. Right now, obviously, we got the announcement that Sabine is going to be Sabine Wren is cast, played by Natasha. I don't know how to say her name. Is it Lou?
I can't even remember.
Or Dizo, something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
So she is going to be in Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka show. Really, really awesome. Now, for Sabine, this technically is her cameo appearance, and it's got a whole bunch of first appearance, including obviously Kanan, Ezra, Chopper, Hera, and the whole squad. So this book is going to move for those other reasons, but right now, obviously, the Sabine casting is making it move. Now, the interesting thing with this is that it made the list obviously because of units sold, not because of price. So just looking at what it's done, it was 150% upward trend in sales with a CGC high of $350. Really, really solid. I mean, I pulled this book out of a 50-cent bin. So really cool to see what it's been doing. I definitely think it's going to continue to grow once we see more of these characters show up in Disney Plus or some type of live action Star Wars canon, right? But I do want to note, though, that issue number 6, which is Sabine's first full appearance, did spike as well, especially in value because the 9.8 went for double this one for $700. So it just goes to show you, what's been moving because of this news. But again, this one made the list because of units. So, you got a situation where it's a more affordable book and you got all those other first appearances tied in as well. And that makes this for, still probably a decent investment. Again, is it a good time to buy? I am always one to say stay away from the 9.8s, especially for these modern books. You could save usually a lot of money, even just dipping down to that 9.6 or finding yourself a high grade raw, spending a little bit of money to press and clean it, spending money yourself to go send it into a grading company and seeing if you can get that 9.8. And again, another thing that I like to talk about as well, if you guys don't have the budget and you're stressing your budget out thinking that you need to get a 9.8, I talk about this a lot. I always give reference back to the Swaghouse, who did a video talking about key books and how they moved in terms of ROI, return on investment. And, even if you put less money out for lower grades, percentage-wise, ROI, you're still getting a similar percentage of return on investment. It might not be the same dollar amount, but percentage-wise, you're still there earning that return. So again, for those that want to invest or speculate or collect just 9.8s, I'm not knocking you, but it's not the only way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. 360 says it. Low grade is better than no grade. Definitely. By the way, again, I brought this up here, but that Mountain Air, one of my favorite dollar bin wins here. Found 3 last month at my local comic shop. That is amazing.
Nice.
Universe X on Instagram this Saturday.
Nice.
That's beautiful right there. 1 in 6. Oh my gosh. Outstanding. Good stuff. All right. One thing I want to call myself out again. Comic Toby. It wasn't a facsimile. So anyways, we're doing a live show, Comic Toby. Stop messing with us, for God's sakes. Chris, what is your third and most?
Is it the red logo?
It does have the red logo on there.
Yeah, that's a facsimile. Yep.
Okay.
It's all good.
So back and forth.
We're
not
trying to manipulate the market, folks. Don't worry.
No, we're not. Although I do
have a few copies of those facsimiles. All
right, Chris. What is your third most interesting book from this list right here, the top 10?
Guys,
eat a chip. You deserve it. You deserve it.
I love these. I love them. They're so good.
So they're definitely good.
All right, guys. I'm gonna be a rude Italian and talk with my mouth full while I'm talking with my hands. My first book on the list. I didn't really necessarily want to pick this book, but I find the talking points around it very cool. And anytime I get to have this type of talking point for a top 10, I always want to take advantage of that to be able to present my stance and my opinions to you guys. So I did go ahead and pick the number one book on the list, Dark Reign Zodiac #1. This had get this, 817% upward trend in sales, which means like nobody was buying this book at all. I mean, I don't even know how you quantify that. I don't even know if a book was.
What's the algorithm here for that? Like 800, it's insane.
It's crazy. So we got a high raw selling for $40 though. So for those that don't know, Zodiac was reintroduced in the current Moon Knight run in issue 5. A really predominant role in what's going on with Moon Knight right now as well. So this is why I picked this book. It's the argument of speculation or love for the story. And I'm gonna boil it down to the fact that it's always going to be a little bit of a both, in my humble opinion. But you're going to get those people who are sensationalists or who are on the extreme sides of either opinion, and they're going to be like, oh, nobody cares about that book. They just think that it's going to, it's all speculation, and they think they're going to get rich off of it and all this stuff. And I beg to differ. I think people are really reading this Moon Knight run, for this particular example, and they're so intrigued in what's going on with the characters in the book that they go back and seek out other books of these characters, especially their first appearances. Then you get, even that within itself is partially speculation to a certain extent, maybe, but then you probably get people that aren't even reading it. Maybe they're just keeping their ears hit. They're checking out their previews. They know that Zodiac's coming back and they're trying to speculate on this book to flip for a profit. Whatever the case may be, though, folks. The bottom line, though, we'll never be able to quantify that with data unless we go out and do a survey of, a couple thousand collectors that are picking up the Moon Knight book and buying this one and really seeing where their heads are at. But, and for anybody in the comments right now or anybody that's watching this on the replay, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments about if you're picking up the Moon Knight or if you picked up this book, why? And if you're picking up the Moon Knight, are you looking at this book or this character? Are you being brought into this character? Are you being intrigued to seek out this character now because you're just reading a solid story of something that's going on that's making you invested in the characters? I mean, there's plenty of books where I'm reading along. Like one of them was Tombstone. When I was reading my Spider-Man stuff and Tombstone, the story arc came in with Tombstone. I'm like, I love Tombstone as a villain, and I was looking up his first appearance. I already own 2 of them, so I'm like, oh great, cool. So those things happen for us as comic readers and comic collectors. So that's why I picked this book for my number one pick today, because regardless of what anyone says, I think the reason why this book is number one shows a real well-balanced state of the market. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that, and at the end of the day, it makes the hobby and the industry healthy because people are simply buying books, whatever the reason may be. So $40 for this book, I don't know. I can't even really speak to that. I can't even speak to what it was doing before, if it was $1 book, if it was a $5 book. But as always, if you're looking to buy, just have patience, be smart, do your research, and make sure that you have love for the books and are willing to take the risk and just make your sound decisions whenever purchasing. But there you have it, folks. That's why I picked this as my number one.
Yeah, it's interesting. You and I talk about this all the time. We love comic books getting hot for comic book's sake, not because of the movie or TV or anything like that. I'm still on issue 2 of Moon Knight, which I enjoy it. But I would go back on Marvel Unlimited. I wouldn't pay $40, in my opinion, for this book. But the fact that it's in demand because of it, I think it's great. I'm wondering if people are thinking that let's get this book because it'll probably show up in the Disney Plus show. I don't know. Well, either way, it's a good thing, man. It's people are paying attention. How about that?
Absolutely. And I'll say to that, if they are, not like I said, not necessarily now at $40. I can't really speak to that. I didn't do the research on this book like that, but this is being smart. If you know something's going on in comic books, simply for comic books, and you still want to speculate it on the movies, and it's an affordable book, $1 bin book, $3 book, cover price, $5, $10, whatever, go buy a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy a copy or two, because then you're not gonna, pout and be upset when a character is introduced in the MCU and it's skyrocketing, and you're, saying dirty flippers and speculators shame on you, right? So,
yeah, no, definitely. Again, Chris and I will give you our 2 cents here, but you do what you want, man. Buy what you love. So, anyways, that's what we got to say there. Chris, I do believe that ends the top 10 hottest comics of the week. I do believe we'll have a new list actually tomorrow that we'll talk about on the next episode of Comic Book Canon, the top 10 hottest comics of the week. It was definitely an interesting a week. And again, I've been more excited about other lists. But anyways, I do want to, here's another comment I want to call out. Yeah, Jay Ward, I am watching Endgame. There's the Hulk against the Ancient One. No big whoop. We'll probably get taken off the air. I don't care. Crazy like that. But no, somebody else figured that out too. I can't remember who that was, but good call on that. Guys, Sunday night, we're winding down our weekend here. We got, our week starts tomorrow. Your week starts tomorrow.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, we hope you guys have an excellent week. We're going to let you know if we're live on Friday or Sunday. I'm sorry that it's up in the air. That's on me. I blamed a lot on me on this episode, and I apologize for blaming things on me. That's on me.
Shame.
Yeah, for shame. But Chris, this is a great Sunday night show, though. So much fun.
Yeah, and again, I want to thank everyone for getting us over the 900 mark.
Man, yes.
We need to have a conversation, because I do believe we said
we do.
That once we hit that 900 mark, we're at 907. We're gonna start rolling out our 1,000 subscriber contest.
Yeah, we do need to do that. Chris and I have to start getting organized. Chris and I pull it off pretty well, but we are definitely not organized at all. So, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with us, talking comic books, as always, whether it be live, whether it be on video on demand, what have you. We are very appreciative of you to be able to share these times and talk about the things that we love. And again, it's a variety of things. Granted, we do concentrate on comic books most of the time here, but it's life in general, and we really, really do appreciate all of you. Chris, you're gonna have final words for this week's episode.
Final words. Yeah. Just again, ending Thanksgiving weekend. Give thanks. Give thanks for your health, family, friends, and just being here. The simple things, man, and treat each other kind. I had to do a random live show late night on Friday on my channel because I had a good friend of the channel come at me a certain way. And it's not that I have to pay attention to that stuff and call people out, but I like to be transparent. I used it as an opportunity to talk about how, you know, we could continue to be better people. I said this at the end of last week's show as well. And just keep treating each other with kindness in this world, man. That's why we're here every night, because it's a platform that allows us to do something that we love, do something fun, and be kind to each other, knowing that we're all different people from different walks of life. So keep it up. Keep up the support. Love each other. Love yourselves. And that's all I got.
Can't end on better words than that. Until next time, people, we will see you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Peace.